Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, bahasham, quadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone, who are teaching this truth in sincerity. And a shout out to Yakim that's out there on the four corners of the earth proclaiming this truth. Barak the yahawah, barak the yahawashi, bahasham, quadash, barak atham. So, pretty much, though, you can see that everything's coming to its end, and that, there's no hope left in America. Man, these Edomites, they feel it, man. They can feel that it's coming to the very end. And that's why they're addicted to everything, just like the very things that I talk about when I'm on the streets, and I see it. I see it with my own eyes, man. They have no hope whatsoever, The greedy, rich, they fucking do everything that they fucking can to oppress the poor here, You see it. You see that these people are oppressed, and that the only people that are fucking being harassed by the police are the homeless, especially in Redding. But I'm pretty sure that's everywhere, because these Edomites are now starting to feel, they're starting to pretty much be run down. You know that there's only the 99% and the 1%, but it's all going to happen to them. FEMA is coming, and it starts with the oppressed, the poor. You just you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out, as they say, figuratively speaking. So many things that are like that. In Slovakia, if I said a few things that sound Babylonian, been here for so long, like, oops, I was saying mothership. It's fathership. I didn't even realize that. Just something like that. Been in Babylon for so long that, that's why we come out of those things. And it's like, no, man, you're determined by your father's bloodline, not by your mother's bloodline. So something very simple like the mothership, or Mother Earth. You hear terms like that, and oops, it comes out of your mouth. I wonder how Mother Earth, it's just like, oops, slip the tongue. So yeah. And I'm talking about videos. I watched older videos of mine where I said mothership, which I'm talking about the very large chariot. Well, I should have said fathership, but you see, that's just it. Been in Babylon so long, I do these things subconsciously, because that's what Esau does. He gets you consciously, subconsciously, and unconsciously. That's why a lot of people fall asleep with the TV on, so they could put in hidden subliminal messages. So they're subliminally saying it, And that's just it, though, is that we've been indoctrinated for so long. You just got to flush it out. That's what this daily edification is. That's what this daily bread is for, Eating the whole roll. Even if you do live in a place that where they don't believe, put on a headset. Do what you got to do, Because sure enough, though, man, the moment that you or poor or needy, boy, they sure gonna make your life a living fucking hell. Gonna blast the music so you can't watch the TV, going to fucking, do everything they can to just, pretty much, though, because they resent you being there. Because you don't think the same as them anymore. You may be living in this world, but you're no longer a part of this world. You're not into those philosophies anymore. And they can see that, and they despise it, because they know their judgment's about to come. You think I go easy? Yeah, I put on some Clark Kent, but when it comes to this, though, yeah, the Most High has a big-time grievance with this place, and that's why this place will be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles. I practice what I preach. I do put that into motion. I say, yeah, there's a nuclear war that's coming up. I said, but first they're going to crash the economy. Pretty much like the street lessons. Yeah, I practice this. I actually tell people, well, that things are going to get worse, and that eventually they're going to have a one-world currency, and that everything is going to be on them chips. I'm not candy-coating anything. Why should I? Because your Clark Kent has still got to edify Superman, doesn't it? Yeah, you could be Clark Kent. You may not call them an Edomite. You may not do that, but at the same time, though, you just tell them stories still based upon that. You tell them that, the Most High has a grievance with this place, and that America is the final Babylon. Before it gets destroyed, all these things are going to take place. you know. And I think that people can at least comprehend that. So, you know, your Clark Kent builds up your Superman. And that's what I'm doing. Clark Kent backs Superman, you know. Doesn't go against Superman, you know. I'm not gonna hide it. I may not always say to every stranger, yeah, I'm an Israelite. But if a person asks, well, I saw you on the streets teaching, you know, I saw you on the street the other day, and it's like, yeah, I talk about current events and things going on, you know, and how all things relate. I'm not going to go against. Do you see, that's just it, though. We're being tested. Our faith is being tested. You know, I'm just buying time. We're just all doing prison sentence anyways, you know. Some of us have been doing it longer. But all this is survival. We're just trying to survive the best that we can. Because we know the great economic crash is happening. We can see it all around, and we can see that these Edomites, they can't handle it. That's why they're doing what they do. So anyhow, we're going to take a look at some other things going on. You know, a lot of distraction news going on, you know, with the shooter and just all these other shootings happening, you know, every now. It, you know, seems to be popping up a lot because they're trying to stage the next false flag chemical attack in Syria, as well as, you know, trying to find a way to blame Iran for stuff. Because, of course, at least the flock is drawing everybody into this war. And at the same time, the trade wars, all that's leading to the pretty much the mark that they want to put on everyone. And you can best believe that, hey, China wants it. Of course they do. They are so much like America, you can't even tell the difference between China and America. Their ghettos and all that looked like America's tent cities. Then you can go to even the worst places on Moab, like the Philippines and you know, Singapore and all that, and see how they're living. They have a whole bunch of buildings stacked up on top of each other, you know. And that's where a lot of the dumping goes. You know, all the shit that Esau dumps in the ocean, they just dump it on there. You know, just watched a movie earlier today called Mammoth, and it shows you where all these dump sites are. You know, in those what Esau likes to call third world countries, which are the places of Moab. So it says, well, beyond Syria, Egypt, and Moab. And you can see that, man. This war is coming. And it's a lot sooner than what one realizes. You know? And, yeah, our Clark Kent also backs up Superman, you know? Okay, so we're not Superman punching them, but, you know, we're still kind of jabbing a little bit. And then you hit them with the bigger fist later. You know, especially, you know, if they want to get enough of the jab, then you hit them with this, you know, so to speak. But nonetheless, though, it's not too far from now, and everyone can see that. All right, now on to some other things. So, more on this false flag shooting.
Several days ago, a Saudi pilot trainee in the United States in a military base in Florida killed 3 people in which he opened fire on the base, killing at least 3 Americans. Lieutenant Mohammed Saeed al-Rashami killed 3 people.
Yep, another 9/11.
Shot dead by police himself at the Naval Air Base station in Pensacola, Florida. Now, one of the men who came as a part of an exchange with him, Saudi military personnel came to the United States to receive training, and one of the individuals that came with him actually recorded the incident while it was taking place. So it seems like at least the 2 of them were working together in order to
for that.
carry out this attack against the United States. Now, the Saudi Air Force officer was on a U.S.-sponsored training program, reportedly posted a manifesto on Twitter before he carried out the shooting.
See how that's staged?
America as a whole has turned into a nation of evil. I'm not against you just for being American. I don't hate you because of your freedoms. I hate you because every day you're supporting, funding, and committing crimes not only against Muslims, but also humanity. Now, currently the FBI is investigating as to whether this
this is a total psyop.
terrorist network, or if this was connected to a larger plot that has been designed to attack the United States. Now, agents detained the other 6 Saudis for questioning, 3 of whom reportedly started fleeing after the attack. It's not clear whether they had any connection to the group or just happened to be at the scene of the shooting when it took place. Now, normally military personnel are not allowed to carry firearms around on a base on U.S. soil. The way this shooting was carried out was that al-Sharami was able to get a Glock handgun purchased locally into a classroom building where the trainee pilots were studying. In other words, he went out and purchased one, probably legally. Please don't take this as nothing in support of gun control, because I don't support gun control. And that's how he got the gun, and then ended up shooting the other soldier. Now, Saudi Arabia sought to distance himself from this and try to repair some of the relations between the United States and Saudi Arabia by saying, Bin Salman called Trump, gave him his condolences, and that they don't condone this kind of thing, and that it's weird given that Saudi Arabia is probably the world's second largest exporter of terrorism across the world, particularly and number one in terms of Islamic terrorism, Wahhabism, etc., Daesh, etc. Mark Esper, the U.S. Defense Secretary, said the vetting procedures for bringing troops over from other countries must be reevaluated and more alert for people with mental health conditions. What? Are we screening persons coming to make sure they have their life in order, their mental health is adequate? What? That's a very interesting way of putting that. I mean, clearly, mental health didn't have anything to do with this. This was very straight up politically motivated. This is an attempt to whitewash what happened. Now, obviously, this is not quite as exactly as it appears. I do believe the Saudi government when they said they didn't have anything to do with this, because the Saudis want a positive relationship with the United States. They don't want these attacks carried out. This guy seems to be very genuinely upset at what the United States has done to the Islamic world, which the Saudi government has always been a partner of and has always been an ally in carrying out. So I don't believe that the Saudi government or the royal family had anything to do with this. I believe this was the action of one guy who was angry at the United States for what it has done to the Muslim world. So I don't think this is part of some larger conspiracy. I think this guy really genuinely hated the United States and what it's done. And I don't think there's going to be any connection to any larger terrorist group. And I don't think there's going to be any connection to the Saudi government as being responsible for this. I think legitimately somebody can be that angry that they would carry out a shooting. It's interesting that the Saudi got the same kind of, mass shooter treatment. Oh, it must be mental illness, when it was very clearly motivated by something else. So it's interesting that he got the same kind of treatment that's normally reserved for alt-rightist shooters in the United States, or sometimes just random mass shooters in general. So I think it's very dishonest of Mark Esper, the U.S. Defense Secretary, to just simply say, oh, this might be a mental health issue, when very clearly the shooting was politically motivated. Thank you for watching.
And that's just it, though, is, of course they want to put that mentally unstable factor into everything. So if it is an incident or isn't an incident, I just know that most shootings are fake. So this may be fake or it may be real. We decide on that. But, that's neither here nor there. What is there, though, is that quite clearly, though, people are sick of America's shit, and this guy did something about it. However, though, I guess he wants to be a martyr. Eventually they're going to falsely accuse us. And that's just it, though, is, we just got to stay diligent. More about this next, of course, what we know is the White Helmet's going to stage another chemical weapons attack to blame Bashar al-Assad. Al-Nusra's terrorists transport chemical substances to Idlib southern countryside because, of course, they're losing foothold there, so they got to do this false flag in order to draw more people in there. Idlib, Al-Nusra terrorists in coordination with the so-called White Helmets group and under the supervision of Turkish and European exports transported a shipment of chemical weapons filled in cylinders which contained toxic chlorine gas, including Sarik and Marat al-Numan cities to the south of Idlib. Local sources told Sputnik that the cylinders arrived in two regions from outside Idlib via two cars for the White Helmet, under supervision of the Jabhat al-Nusra terrorists of French, Turkish, and Belgian origins. The sources added that the cylinders arrived in Sarwood City last Wednesday, and they were stored in one of al-Nusra dens to the south of Idlib, while other cylinders headed for Marat al-Numan. So, either way, though, all the stage is set for these weapons provided by the United States. And because, of course, all these places work for the whore Babylon the Great. And you can see, though, that they're about ready to stage the next false flag attack. The least of the flock drawing everybody into this war.
Shalom. All praise to Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the nation of Israel, better known as the Great Millstone. Shalom and blessings to the elect, to the 1/3 and the 144,000, and death to 2/3 and all the wicked. Real quick, this won't be that long of a clip, but the word affirmation, I'm sitting here on my way to camp, and you have people that are into personal success and pursuing mentors, to help with growth of a business, or just a winning mindset. And for brothers in this truth, your videos a lot of times can be your own personal daily affirmation. Because typically it's when you look at what it is, it's you by yourself in the spirit. And so you're speaking, you're alone, you're speaking, and you're listening to the things even that you say. And so because you're saying them, it's obviously coming from a place of something that's somewhat personal, or an experience, right? From your, just from your perspective, it's somewhat personal. So these videos are like a daily affirmation. And you look up the word affirmation, and it says, the action or process of affirming something or being affirmed, okay, an assertion, a declaration, or a statement, you see. Now, when you read things, you're supposed to, or see things, anytime you take in information, you should be asking yourself, is this informative, educational, entertainment? What is the purpose of this information that I'm taking in? Is it just a declarative statement? What is it? But here's the second definition. It says emotional support or encouragement. Okay? So that's really what I wanted to focus on, was, in doing of the daily videos, really you're giving yourself some emotional support or encouragement, because the Spirit, as you're doing your videos, the Spirit is supping with you. The Spirit has supped with you. The Spirit is supping with you. And so you're getting more than you really intended. Your purpose of the video was to give, but you are actually receiving at the same time. And that's an exchange that is constantly taking place, that we need to be as much as possible aware of, and this scripture has just come to mind, proving the point. Let's see if it'll pull up. Well, the scripture I'm looking for is freely have you received, so freely give. Let's see if I can find it. Matthews 10:8. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely ye have received, freely give. And so that's are we not receiving freely of no charge or money, right? We're freely receiving this word. We're freely receiving the things of the Spirit. And it's all in intention. And the point of it is that we may freely give unto others. So, by serving, we are being served. And so, don't look at your videos as a chore or a bare minimum. As the Spirit gives, and as you take of the Spirit, give back into it. Pay it forward. A lot of that's a saying from the world, paying it forward. And what that means is, someone might, maybe a co-worker at work, they're like, hey man, I didn't bring a lunch. You think I could borrow $5? I'll pay you back on Friday. And you'll be like, they'll say yes or no. And then sometimes you'll run into them, you pay them back, before even Friday, back here, man, my bad. I went to the bank and I got it squared away. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And the guy will be like, no, hey, don't worry about it. Just pay it forward. What he's saying is he wants you to do the same thing for someone else. So another coworker, someone that's part of the team. Pay it forward. Keep the morale in the community upbeat, basically, you see. And that's a good mentality to have. That is in fact a winning mentality, because you're sowing good seed. That's a good thing to do. But there's a balance with that. If you do as good, know to whom thou doest it. And that's not to say you can't have friends of the world in the world. By all means, be at peace with all men. You're supposed to be able to get along with everybody, despite what others say. It's hard to live that fuck everybody mentality when and then expect things to happen after time. Okay. So you just have these things that are going on and taking place. But so like I'm over here just making some ideas. Okay. Anyway, that's the point. The Spirit will lift you up. But in order to be lifted up, you have to experience a downtrodden time. A time of being downtrodden. So that's just normal stuff right there, man. That's just very normal. So with that...
But facial recognition at music festivals is just one example of the growing prevalence of this kind of surveillance technology. Businesses everywhere are starting to deploy cameras that analyze faces, like Walgreens with its cooler cameras that track your eye movements and make inferences on the age and gender of its shoppers. This pilot program lets retailers target people more effectively with advertisements. For example, if Mountain Dew launched a campaign targeting young black men, they can then use the smart cooler data to see if the campaign worked. In London, high-definition cameras can be found at bus stops as part of advertising campaigns that target people with content based on if you're a man or a woman. But the potential for facial recognition technology goes beyond profit maximization, and it goes beyond things you can technically opt out of, like buying an iPhone. Police departments regularly use facial recognition to identify suspects. In fact, Oregon, New Hampshire, and California are the only states with laws in place banning the police from using it in their body cameras, and Oakland and San Francisco are the only cities who've banned their police from using facial recognition technology altogether. And if you've been to the airport recently, you may have noticed Clear, the program through which U.S. citizens voluntarily provide their biometric information to the U.S. government. Clear has been around for over a decade, but it's becoming increasingly aggressive with its marketing and sales strategies.
All you need is your ID and your fingerprint. It takes 2 minutes to sign up. Once you sign up, you can use it right away.
Clear can also be found at entertainment venues like Madison Square Garden and sports stadiums like Yankee Stadium. Clear may not be mandatory, but few seemingly draconian programs are, in the beginning. Earlier this week, it came out that the Department of Homeland Security proposed to make facial recognition checks mandatory for all U.S. citizens entering or leaving the country. Organizations like the ACLU voiced their concerns with the DHS proposals, saying that the government was going back on what was already an insufficient promise, and that travelers, including U.S. citizens, should not have to submit to invasive biometric scans as a condition of exercising their constitutional right to travel. On Thursday, the DHS said it would not follow through on this new rule, but will continue to allow U.S. citizens to voluntarily participate in biometric entry-exit programs. But significantly, even though U.S. citizens can technically opt out of facial recognition at airports, a 2017 audit found that barely more than one passenger per flight actually exercises that right. As the normalization of biometrics spreads, many questions about the loss of privacy, whether voluntarily or involuntarily, remain. For the News with Rick Sanchez, Michelle Greenstein, RT.
Shalom. First and foremost, all the praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to all you fellow laborers that are kicking this word in sincerity and in faith. The wadi bahasham yahawashi, yahawah quadash, for the Holy Spirit resting upon me to do this lesson. And this lesson is concerning Juice WRLD, who you see on the screen, the guy on the left, which he sold his soul to the guy on the right. And this video is documenting how he sold his soul, which when you sell your soul, that means that you, for money, for fame, or whatever, woman, you do things that you otherwise wouldn't. A lot of times you sign a contract documenting that whatever the so-called white man tells you to do, you will do. Or you may have to partake in witchcraft, which includes promoting sorcery in the form of drugs, enchanting people, partake in sodomite acts, orgies, so on and so forth. Now, this young Jake, the Lord took his spirit off the earth. I believe it was either last night or early this morning, due to seizures, which seizures a lot of the times come from people who use a lot of drugs, like Lil Wayne, Rick Ross. A lot of them rappers, they be having epileptic episodes, which is brought on because of that rampant drug use, in particular the oids, all right, in the form of codeine. And yeah, man, this is just another example of the Lord bringing judgment, because the Lord is not mocked. And a lot of these rappers, they'll document it, like on Instagram, Facebook Live, Snapchat, them standing in a circle of a pentagram, lighting candles, and they think it's all fun and games. But the Lord ain't playing, man. Lord will put you to death. So let me go ahead and play this video, and I'm gonna get a few precepts.
Talking about he's now in the Illuminati, he's about to sell his soul. And I'm starting to wonder, like, damn, man, is it the hair dye that got these dudes acting crazy? Because
hey, which is funny, the dude said that because a new report just came out about how the hair dye can lead to cancer and other ailments. Hey, man, this is no joke.
I don't know what's going on with these dudes. Juice put up this video, and I want you guys to watch what he's saying. Just watch this, man.
Alright, y'all. I'm finna sell my soul. I'ma hit y'all when I'm through. I'm gonna be rich as hell, alright? Look, Juice selling his soul. It ain't take too long. Illuminati, man.
What'd you say, Now, after seeing that video, god damn, man, it's looking like this dude is about to sacrifice some goats. He's about to sacrifice some chickens. If you're an animal and you're close to that location, you might want to dip. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and he's putting it up like he's joking, like he's mocking it. But let me go ahead and get the precept. The Lord, he not mocked, man. You don't joke around with some shit like that. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked. Yeah, you can't mock the Most High, because the Most High, he always had the last laugh. All right, do you think that you're scorning? You think people blaspheme the Most High, blaspheme the Bible, burn the Bible, shoot the Bible, laugh after it, ha ha ha. The Most High not mocked. He gonna kill everyone you love, and then he gonna get your ass. Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Yeah, and that's what he was promoting. I only listened to one of the dude's songs that was on the radio, which is not my cup of tea, so to speak. I'm sure other brothers are more familiar with them, but I know he did have a song called "World on Drugs" with Future. And you know what Future does? All he does is doesn't even practice it according to him, but he promotes sorcery in the form of drugs. So look, the Lord had it that he fell by drugs, because again, them seizures are brought on by drug use, in particular that the liquid oids, what Jay calls syrup, and like 3-6 Mafia, which that name in itself lets you know what they're about. They had that song "Sipping on Some Scissor" about the liquid oids, and that shit is rampant among Jake. All right, so be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Yeah, so he reaped what he sowed. Or he's promoting all that drug use, and the Lord had him fall by the drug use. And let me go ahead and look him up a little more. Yeah, he was only 21. Yep, died from a seizure. Short time. The cause of death is unclear at this time, but hey, we know the cause of death through the Spirit. Hey, the Most High bringing judgment on him. Hey, because the Lord, he's the one who puts people to death. It's the book of Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no power with me. I kill and I make alive. Yeah, so the Lord killed him. Why? Because he was being wicked. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. No amount of money, no amount of wisdom of this world can deliver you out of the hand of the Most High. Once it's your time to go, it's over for you. And he was only 21, and he died before his time because he was being over wicked. All right, Ecclesiastes 7 and 17. Be not over much wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before thy time? And he was being over foolish and over wicked. So what happened? The Lord took him off the earth, because all he was doing was spreading wickedness. He wasn't doing anything that was productive in the sight of the Most High, anything that was righteous in the sight of the Most High. So the Lord killed him. Simple and plain as that. And there's going to be many, many more. This is the book of Proverbs 11 and 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath. Right, so wrath came upon him, and none of the riches that he had profited him. Which, truth be told, he probably didn't even have a whole lot of money, because these entertainers, they be getting ripped off. All right, the main sales come from merchandise and touring. So unless he was popping with that, he wasn't really making a whole lot of money. And I know this from experience. All right, having performed and having close friends who run different hip-hop organizations and being in the industry. That's how you make money. So he's only 21. You know, his manager's probably ripping him off, record company, but still he's looked at as having more riches than the average Jake. Well, riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness deliver from death. Yeah, because those of us who are going to make it up out of here, it's because of our righteousness, which is through yahawashi. All right, because that's what makes you righteous, being covered by the blood of the Lamb. And he obviously wasn't. At this point, well, ultimately, he's going to come back in the kingdom because he is an Israelite. So ultimately, he is covered by the blood, but he had to die first. You see? Because it starts with the remnant. And he's not a part of the remnant. All right, he's a part of the 2/3. And the Lord got rid of him. And he got seduced by the world, pretty much. He's a victim of Edomite supremacy. He's a victim of a so-called white man. All right, he's examining the way of the world, and in his mind, lacking integrity, he thought, hey, you know what? This is what I got to do to get on. This is what I got to do to take care of my mom. I have to take care of myself. And Esau seduced him, and now he's gone. Proverbs 12 and 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. Yeah, and the righteous is the nation of Israel. All right, that's the elect nation. That's the chosen nation. And we were created to be righteous. tell you that in the book of Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter. How the Lord planted us, but we've turned into a degenerate plant unto him. So what is he doing? He's yanking that plant out the ground. He's uprooting. And just like yahawashi said, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. Alright, so the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. Yeah, the way of the wicked seduceth them. And I looked him up before, and he was real into like rock music. He's real into like a lot of Edomite stuff. So you know, you getting all those influences, you're gonna get seduced. Alright, aside from you seeing how the monetary system works, you growing up in school, you thinking that the so-called white man is the way to be. So he got seduced into doing wickedness. And he was found overmuch wicked, and the Lord destroyed him. Alright, last two scriptures, Ecclesiasticus 10 and 9. Why is earth in ashes proud? Which that's all that music promotes. Especially the so-called hip-hop music. It promotes haughtiness and pride. There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. Yeah, and for you to sell your soul, that means that you're covetous. You see what somebody else has, and you want that for yourself. Instead of being content with the life that the Heavenly Father has given you. Instead of, if you are lacking in something, asking the Heavenly Father. What do? You go the route of the wicked to obtain it, which never works. And there's countless examples all around you as to how that's not going to work, yet our people, they still go that route because they lack faith. For such an one setteth his own soul to sell. That's him. And they were joking about it. Look, he's selling his soul. Ha ha ha. For such an one setteth his own soul to sell, because while he liveth he casteth away his bowels. That's right. So he setteth his own soul to sell. And what did our Lord say? I'm going to end here, Matthew 16 and 26. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? And that's exactly what the dude did. And that's why he was pumping himself up with all those drugs. Felt a deep emptiness within him, so he had to fill himself up with them oils. Alright? For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? That's right, because once you sell your soul, it's over. And you see that with all these celebrities. They just get worse and worse until they're ultimately destroyed. Alright, they lack instruction, so that leads to their self-destruction. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and end there. Call Halayim, yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi. I pray that this lesson was edifying. Until next time, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. And we're the brothers of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, the Chicago branch. And first and foremost, we want to give all praise and glory and honor to
yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, bahasham, quadash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all our fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Right, to the scattered elect, around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, and to the few that are listening. To you, we say shalom. And this is just a response to a video that was put up by my man Terrence Pop. And you know, Terrence Pop's a straight up Edomite, but he be talking about some real shit though. And basically, he had a video called 84% of women failed Army fitness tests. Right, 84%. All right, and the problem is that they don't get flagged, because you know, in the Marine Corps, if you fail the fitness test, they give you one more try to get it, and if you don't fail it, you get kicked out.
Right.
But what he was saying was how these women they don't get picked. They pass. They'll pass boot camp. they'll let them through boot camp and they'll pass it down, and then they'll basically skate. That's what we call it in the Marine Corps. They probably say the same thing in the Army, but they basically they skate the next 4 years if they're active duty or however long the time it is when it came to the fitness stands. Now the Marine Corps is a little bit more difficult for the women, but you know, the WMs, we used to call it women monkeys or whatever, because WM wasn't really that attractive collectively. You know, the Army did have some decent looking women, and so did the Navy. But nevertheless, man, it's not their place. All right, and here were some of the statistics that he gave. It said 70% of the men passed, but 84% of the women failed. All right, and like I said, they weren't flagged. They still were able to get promoted, get their pay, get an honorable discharge, stay in, and collect a pension. So basically, Esau is running a backwards kingdom, because this book is the standard on how to live, on how to run your family life, your country, your people, yet they don't follow it, man. And so when we look into all the ancient great nations, all right, we'll just talk about the main four: Babylon, Persia, Medes, Greek and Rome, and now America. None of those, although some of them did have women worship in them and they were going on, but their military structure and all their structure of how they came and got into power and held their power was through men. All right, when a nation is going to take the care of its children, your wives, your daughters, and put them in a position where they gotta fight, something's wrong. Something's horribly wrong, man. Because how, you know, let's say that I'm a high-ranking military guy, and I got a driver that's a little hot blonde with some missiles, right? Okay, she's fun to look at and all that stuff, but my vehicle get hit and I can't get out the vehicle and it's burning. She's not gonna be able to drag me out. I'm done. All right, I'll be able to pull her out, no problem. All right. And you know, so it's just like it's really it's a financial travesty, the amount of money that's wasted on women in the military, right? Because hey, look, in 1985, the Navy Times ran an article, all right, and you can look this up for yourself, Google it, find it. But the Navy Times ran an article because I read it, and the article read, it was on the cover of the Navy Times, because the Marine Corps is the Department of the Navy, all right. And on the Navy Times it said 50% of enlisted women were pregnant unwed mothers. So that was in 1985. Oh no, I'll take that back. In 87, late 87. It wasn't 85. It was late 87. That was when that was done. So correction. And the Navy Times ran that article in 87 that 50% of the women in the U.S. Navy enlisted women. All right, and I think it said the Navy, not the whole. But when you look at all the other branches, they were pregnant, unwed mothers. Man, now we know that sex is marriage, but the point being is, these women were collecting. Then they got housing. They got 6 months of profile after giving birth. Then they got all that extra money. Plus, they were collecting child support from whoever was unfortunate enough to right. All right, and so costing the military all this extra money, costing the taxpayers all this extra money, and then you wonder why there's never any money and all this money going into the military. Well, the extra money that has to take care of women is unnecessary. It really is. All right. Okay, because somebody playing. Don't give me some bullshit about Joan of Arc that was make believe. All right, there was never any kingdom, any battle that was ever fought or won by women. Ever. All right, Wonder Woman and the Amazonians is make believe. All right, it ain't happening. All right. You can grab this scripture.
Okay. This is Revelation 7. Starting at 5. No, I'm starting at 4.
Right.
And I heard the number of them which was sealed, and there was sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Right, now we know that says the sons.
Right.
That's really the sons of Israel. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. Of the tribe of Judah is still 12,000.
So there no women in that. And just for time's sake, go to each tribe.
Okay.
That's one.
Okay. Of the tribe of Asher, 12,000.
That's two.
Of the tribe of Simeon, 12,000.
That's three.
Of the tribe of Zebulun, were still 12,000.
That's four.
Of the tribe, and this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man can
That's
number.
a lot, right?
Yeah, you want me?
In all 12 tribes.
Okay. Right then, I got to go all the way to the top. Okay, right. I got to run through it. And I heard the number of them that was still there was still 144,000. No, the tribe of Judah was 12,000. The tribe of Reuben was still 12,000. The tribe of Gad was still 12,000. The tribe of Asher was still 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali was still 12,000.
That's five.
Of the tribe of Manasseh was still 12,000.
That's six.
Of the tribe of Simeon was still 12,000.
Seven.
Of the tribe of Levi was still 12,000.
Eight.
Of the tribe of Issachar was still 12,000.
Nine.
Of the tribe of Zebulun was still 12,000.
10.
Of the tribe of Joseph was still 12,000.
11.
Of the tribe of Benjamin was still 12,000.
12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. The sons of Israel, the sons of Jacob. Right? The women, that's not their role. I don't think we love women. I love women. I can't wait to get to the kingdom and enjoy my wives with an S. All right, I can't wait. All right, so don't think that's not what this is about. This is about true sake and order. All right, and there's an order to things. And like I said, America is breaking itself. If women were not enlisted in the military, that alone there would be so much money coming back into America right there. Right? It's probably trillions just wasted on women alone. All the extra care that needs to be done, plus all the extra benefits and goodies that they get once they get in, all the dangers, man. You get knocked up. This
Free ride.
and guess what? Women learn that and they go join the military to do that. Why be in the projects and get knocked up when you get in the military?
Yep.
Right, and get all that extra stuff. Plus get to do with the child support. Right? If you don't marry. And a lot of them, they don't want to get married, so they still gonna get you. All right.
This is Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 31. And ye my flock, the flock of my pasture are men, and I am your God, said yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi.
There it is, man. All right. The flock of the Most High is men. That's his flock, man. Not women. And that's perfect that this will happen, because the same thing goes for fire and police. Same thing goes for fire and police, man, because you got a police officer just like my man Terrence Bob said. He walks into a bar in a bar brawl, man. Right? You got 200 plus pound dudes going at it. Alright? Or 3 200 plus pound dudes getting out of order, and you going in there with a 135-pound nigga woman.
Oh, she's gross up.
Alright? All this gonna end up to someone being shot. She shoot. Alright? And then if she can't get to her gun, she's screwed. Alright? Because you best believe that 3 men can overpower one man real easy. Alright? Because you're only one man. Alright? Especially 3 really big men. Okay? So there's just certain things, and then he told another story about the firemen. We hear the sirens going off. The same thing for the fire department, man. You got a fire going on, man, and you know you got going into a burning building. You want to see a bunch of 120, 30-pound women getting off there with axes trying to break through some doors and walls to save your family? Right. Or some big dudes coming through them doors and walls to pull your family out, man. Right. He even told a story about how he saw a fireman carrying 2 children in his arm and dragging their unconscious father by his shirt. All right? Put the little bald on the one side cop.
Right.
But just walk. Could she have done that? Could she have done that?
She ain't running in there.
Right.
Right.
And even if she did, you know, she may have been one to bring one of the kids out. So I mean, the other child and the man would have died. This man had 2 children in one arm and dragging the unconscious father, man, and drug him out of a fire, man. Look, it's just certain men are set up to do certain things that women are not. It's just like we can't push out no baby. All right, we put the baby in you, and then you incubate it and bring it to and push it forth, bring it forth. That's an order.
I got a scripture right here.
Go ahead, brother.
This is 2 Samuel 23 through 15. And David longed and said, "Oh, that one would give me drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate." And the 3 mighty men break through the host, that's the army of the Philistines, and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. Nevertheless, he would not drink there, but poured it out unto Yahawah. And he said, "Be it far from me, O Yahawah, that I should do this. Is not this the blood of the men that went in jeopardy of their lives? Therefore he would not drink it." These things did these 3 mighty men. Okay.
Did it say anything about Deborah?
No.
Esther?
No. This is women. This is women.
They love running to Deborah and Esther. All day. With no understanding.
Yeah.
All right?
But this is 3 men that went
and
through
there were 2 men involved in both the stories of Esther and Deborah.
Exactly.
And the focus was really about those 2 men.
That's
exactly.
Right. That's right.
Not exactly.
And barak.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Okay. These things did these 3 mighty men. So this is these 3 mighty men did. Okay. You think 3 women could have went through an army of men?
No, we would have got ran through.
There you go.
All right. Like that Levite's concubine.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
There it is.
And she jumped on the car carousel, and all of a sudden the car carousel jumped on her.
That's it.
Right? And she didn't survive.
That's it.
You know, them Benjamites stroked their ass to death.
That's it. She was wore out. She was through. Right? She was through when he saw on the porch that morning.
I got quick too. This is Proverbs 8:4. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. So you know this truth. The order of things goes into the sons of men, and the sons of men pass down the instruction to the women and to the children, so on and so forth. You know, it's just a natural order to things. Like with society now, you got women trying to do the things men do. You got men acting like women. Everything is just out of balance. Everything's out of course. That's why this society is decaying, because there's no true moral order. And just get this, and then this is Exodus 18. I started 24. So Moses hearkened unto the voice of his father-in-law and did all that he had said. And Moses chose able men out of Israel and made them heads over the people, rulers over thousands, rulers over hundreds, and rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10s. No, hold on, wait. Let me get 21. This is Exodus 18:21. Moreover, you shall provide out of all the people able men, such as fear God, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, rulers of 50s, and rulers of 10.
Hey, so with that, man, we're going to give all praises going honor unto
Yahawah, bahasham, yahawashi, bahasham, quadash,
above all.